Press the live button. Roll back.
Oh, hello. We are live. Oh, we had a little bit of a false start. Sorry for the delay. So we are going to get this show on the road here. So hopefully we can get some people joining us and we'll get started talking about Superman and Lois, Season 2, Episode 4, called
The Inverse Method.
The Inverse Method. All right, so Nicole and Lisa are here. I just talked to myself in the third person from the Wall of Weird. So let's get started here. Get right into it all right, here we go. So we got the mayor campaign started. And Kyle, and they're going to dig into their past. They find out that the other candidate is going to start dig up any skeletons. And at first they think it's with Sarah. And they're really worried. And Kyle looks like he's on the edge. Right? He's going to possibly go and start drinking again, which I was really happy to see. As I said before, alcoholism is not something that you just flip a switch, turn off, easy as pie. So it's good to see him struggle with that. And then it was really good to see Sarah come out and say, you know what? I'm okay with this. Maybe it's even a good thing that I could come out and show other people that how to get through this, that I got through with the potential suicide, the attempted suicide.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it is, suicide attempts, but I think it developed a character and it's made her stronger for it. She's come out the other side and, she might put that to good use in helping out other people, other teens.
So yay, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have Kyle going back to the bar, and at first I'm like, oh boy, he's already gonna go.
And all his drinking buddy mates go, hey, welcome back, Kyle.
Then we see the connection between him and the bartender and realize that it looks like he had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Likely he was drunk at the time.
We think. Mm-hmm.
We think he was drunk. And maybe, at the season 1, him and Lana weren't really in a great relationship.
No.
So kind of see where that might have happened. Hopefully there's no pregnancy or anything and they didn't go that far with this.
Yeah, the first couple of episodes in this season, we really saw, Kyle and Lana sort of like, get the relationship back on track. So there's going to be some trust issues here with, if it comes out. Oh, it's a show when it comes out. Yeah, and
it's going to come out.
Yeah, and I'm glad that, Emily told Lana that someone was digging into her past. Yeah.
Yes.
After all that drama that we had with, blaming Lana for getting converted.
Speaking of trust. Oh, so we learned some more about the big story with Lucy and Allie. And it appears that Lois wasn't really being the best journalist. She didn't really tell the whole story, and that she was using her power as a journalist to take Allie down for personal reasons, to protect her sister.
And to make Lucy.
And so what I didn't like about it was that she was purposely trying to hide part of the truth, which Lois actually says. And also the fact that she was writing this big story about her sister, and her sister wasn't really on board with it. And she said she didn't care because she was just trying to save her. But in the end, this really just pushed her away even more.
Yeah, the trust between the sisters, went there.
Yes. And then we have Chrissy, was definitely worried about her going in there.
Yeah.
It really
Domina
didn't
Allison.
take much for her to start falling into Allie's web.
Yeah. Chrissy herself must have issues in order to have like get hooked in more or less straight away. Yeah.
Well,
And
she obviously has trust issues with Lois because Lois was the star reporter and she idolized her. And then to see that it was taken
Pulitzer
down a
Prize
notch.
winning,
Although,
standing up for integrity. Yeah. And it's kind of like,
yeah, on the other side of it, though, I understood what Lois was saying when she said, "Hey, I was trying to protect you because you sounded kind of crazy."
yeah.
And in a normal world, I'd have to agree with her. I mean, it sounded like she was just high or something, but the fact that she was going, the additional part that we saw about her purposely going out of the way to say that she was hiding part of the truth, that's when it gets a little squirrely.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
That's
see how this story develops with Chrissy, you know, because she might turn to the dark side as well as Lucy. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like
It's
she's getting
looking that
pulled
way.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
And the way
quickly.
she just didn't want to speak to Lois in the car on the drive back from New Carthage. Yeah, it's like I don't even want to speak to you, you know.
Yeah. Not good.
Trust issues.
Not good at all. Now, there was something when I watched it the second time, I put together this little connection. There was this moment when Lucy was talking about her experience with the pills, where she said that she saw her other self. And that just reminded me of Bizarro, because Bizarro is Clark's other self. So I wonder if somehow, because I was wondering how these two stories would be connected, if it has to do, if they are really tightly coupled. These pills or what Allie's doing is connected to what we saw going on in the mines.
Yeah.
And if they're going to bring others through as well. And if that's what the goal is, and that's what Allie's trying to do, is to open that door. So we have a comment from Sean. Do you think there will be a love triangle between Lois, Clark, and Steele? I hope not. I'd lose interest very quickly. I've been wondering this myself.
I hope not.
I hope not. I thought more about it last episode than this episode. In this episode, I didn't see any hints. I don't see any building to it. That is always a possibility. It's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and plus also, Clark was getting kind of like close to Lana as well in the last episode, you know.
Right, which that I'd actually keep more of an eye on now that we know what's going to happen with Kyle. Because once Lana finds out, that's going to be
she's going to need some comfort.
She's going to need some comfort.
And I hope she doesn't get it in the arms of Clark.
So are we going to end up with a square? I don't know. We'll see how far they take it. It's certainly a possibility. Sean also says, Chrissy has had a major personality change from season 1 to now. Why hire Lois Lane if you're going to question every move she makes? So I think that she started questioning her actually, I think the questioning started in season 1 because Lois was hiding things from her in season 1.
Yeah.
And she knew about it. And so the beginning of the loss of trust happened at that time.
Plus they are partners now, you know. Lois has got a stake in the paper that was, you know, originally all Chris's before.
Yes, and then she also hasn't been telling her the whole truth about this story. Lois kept waving her off when she said, hey, there's something coming in. And it took a while. She already had to pull it out of her that it had to do with her sister and that whole story. And every time she finds out a little bit more, she says, well, why don't you trust me? So I think that she had an ideal version of what Lois Lane was in her head, and when we first
Yeah,
met
I think
her,
she's got her
and
on a
all,
pedestal, and
yeah,
that's one of the bad things is like you idolize someone and then you come to meet them and like they're not what you thought they were, or you find out something about them and like that really has a a knock-on effect on you.
yeah. So I think I actually saw this building in season 1 a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then she hid stuff that happened with that whole incident. And so Lois has a habit of keeping secrets. She knows she's keeping secrets.
Mm-hmm.
She's not confiding in her. We know that there's a big secret that she's keeping.
Yeah.
And I think that Chrissy feels that she's hiding things from her.
Yeah, there's a difference though between having secrets, keeping secrets, and not telling the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
or you think you're not, or you think you're keeping a secret, for someone's.
Chrissy may not be
benefit.
a bad journalist. She might smell that. Hey, there's something that you're not.
Something doesn't add up. Yeah,
something's not adding up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where that's coming from. So we're gonna go into Jonathan.
You bad boy.
Jonathan, what happened to my favorite Jonathan? I'm very disappointed, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. I just want you to know I'm very, very disappointed. So, first of all, I'm disappointed that you didn't tell your father what was going on with the ex-kryptonite at your school, and instead you decide to get the drug from your girlfriend. And then, when do you decide to take this drug? Oh, you want to take it for selfish reasons to get yourself up in football and do it right before it's time for you to go on the field.
And not even in an attempt to save anyone. It was all for like showing off and trying to get back on the team. And why the hell didn't you test it first?
You had no idea what kind of effect it was going to have on you.
We don't even know what type of effect it has on humans, but for you to be half Kryptonian and that you use something like ex-kryptonite, it's like,
what happens if you got heat vision? You could have burned down the whole field. Jonathan.
And without the invulnerability, he couldn't exactly put his heat vision in his hands like what Clark did. Yeah.
I'm very disappointed.
There could have been a lot of casualties. Yeah.
Well, so we learned some more about the ex-kryptonite, which I was really happy about because I was really wondering what was going on with it. Makes people feel like Superman. Well, it's that they take on one of Superman's powers, and it's kind of funny when they mention, well, it was really weird. She said she heard her mom about 2 miles away. Because a lot of people don't know, or it's obviously not public what all of Superman's powers are. And there's quite a few of his powers that are hidden that you wouldn't know because you can't see. You can see the Arctic breath. You can see the heat vision. You can see the speed. You can see the flying. The invulnerability is also pretty obvious.
It's not like in this universe they have the Superman comic and guidebook.
Right. So they don't know that he has X-ray vision, microvision, super smell, super hearing, all these things. So it'd be pretty funny if someone got super smell. It could be anything. We don't know how long it lasts or how strong it is, but Jonathan gets microvision. I'm assuming that's what it's called. It was what it was called.
Telescopic vision, maybe? Because
it's my power and I can name it.
Yeah.
So he gets microvision, which helps him be a better player. He has to have a pretty good arm to be able to throw it there, not just be able to see.
But he's proven he's got a good arm anyway.
He has proven he's got a good arm, but his arm is still recovering from the injury from when he was actually a good boy.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know what's going on with him. We have Natalie that sees that he is playing really well. And I also wonder, there's a little connection between him and Natalie, and it could be just friends. Again, something else to keep an eye on. And then we have the bird Was it a bird or a bat?
Yeah, I think it's a crow, a raven. Yeah,
crow.
Go
Okay.
crows.
Yeah, crow that he saw, and it was far away, but it looked like it was coming close to him. Things might appear closer than they are. So, are you doing drugs? Well, yeah, some side effects of some drug I'm taking. Well, you smoking pot over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's already
listen to
questioning. I'm
Natalie.
wondering.
She says you should be taking it.
I wonder who is going to find out first. Is it Natalie? Or is it Jordan who's got the super hearing? We saw him use the super hearing on his mom, and Clark was like, don't do that, really.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's just not a good idea.
And, at the
school
school, in front of the lockers, he also says, shh, and it's like, yeah, because Jordan could be earwigged.
Oh, yeah, even if Jordan can hear you. Well, and if he starts to get concerned about his brother, he might listen in. And then we have the whole issue of what's going on at the cheerleading squad. Because when Jordan went
Candace
to the
takes it herself.
They start, Candace is taking it. I don't know what power she has. I don't think she said. And what power are all these other cheerleaders getting? One of them has super hearing, apparently. So we'll see. So Sean says, what's interesting is that X-Kryptonite was created by Supergirl while trying to make an antidote for kryptonite poisoning. How it isn't affecting a half Kryptonian in a negative way is beyond me. It seems that not all Supergirl canon is getting into the show.
It's Supergirl from the comics. Yeah.
Oh, Supergirl from
not the show.
Yes, and we're not quite sure what's going on with Jonathan, right? Because he doesn't have the power, so maybe that's why he's not having negative effects. I don't know. We also don't know how long it lasts or how strong the power is. We still don't know that. But we do know that people have had to take it more than once. As we saw with that guy that had super strength.
Yeah, because it looks like Jonathan's the Danny DeVito half of the twins in this one, not the Arnie.
Yes. So, Jonathan, I really hope that you start using. I don't know how microvision's going to help save the world, because it's not a really great power for that. But we'll see what happens.
Please don't turn bad.
On to the next brother, who is turning a corner as well. Jordan. Wow. Jordan actually trying to use his powers for the greater good.
Yeah, stop a shoplifter.
I was so happy to see that. Of course, he was completely not prepared for it, using his Arctic breath in the Quickie Mart.
Yeah.
And then finding out that there was a camera in the store and going into complete panic mode that no one apparently noticed as he walked out, and Grandpa saved the day. I don't know how he did it that quick, because it didn't look like a lot of time passed to me. And it seemed like he already knew about it before he even called Grandpa. I noticed he didn't call Dad. Maybe he figured Grandpa would be more understanding.
And also, Grandpa's got his connections with the military, and he's retired now, playing golf, fishing, just like what you do.
Yes, he's having a good time. Now he's going to train Jordan, which I'm excited to see. But
yeah,
Sam, training your grandson behind your son-in-law and daughter's back, probably not the best decision.
Yeah, that's the trust again.
I am a little disappointed in Clark for not helping Jordan use his powers for good. Especially when he got pummeled by
Bizarro,
his brother there. Yeah. But I'm happy to see him getting trained. Yeah. And yes, it's going to be a disaster when they find out. More broken trust happening. That is the way it's going to go this season. Do you know how many episodes it is? Have to look that up. All right. We will move along. Bizarro. We still don't hear any words from Bizarro. So he shows up at the farm. And well, first in the Arctic, he has this necklace. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but there's something to that necklace. And when he touched it, the two of them had their connection. And when they have their connection, it seems to affect both of them. And they have a little standoff at the farm where Irons uses his hammer without his gauntlet. I don't know how he can pick it up, or somehow I still don't understand his suit fully. He took him out, got him to run off again, which reminds me of like Mario Brothers when the baddie just like keeps running away. It happened in a Flash season 2, which wasn't great. And then later on, he goes and he said, Iron John says to Clark, you got to tell Anderson because he's the one that can track this, where Bizarro is with the necklace, and you need help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, Clark doesn't want help. He doesn't have
well, at least he made the effort to go to Anderson, and he says, and he handed over the USB drive, and so maybe he's trying to regain the trust there with Anderson.
Yeah. Yes, but the broken trust is not good because what happens? Oh, of course, Anderson sends in the Redbirds to go head off Bizarro, which did not turn out so well.
No,
the only one that survived, of course, was the named character.
That was brutal.
Yes, who picked up the necklace, and of course is going to bring it back to the DOD. Will Anderson tell Superman? Who knows? But they need to start working together because this is a big problem.
Tag might keep hold of the pendant for himself. He might not give it to Anderson. Depends, loyalties and training.
I don't know. I think that Tag will give it over to Anderson. He doesn't. But again, Superman gets totally taken out by Bizarro.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
I mean, it wasn't even much of a fight. He just got taken down, and
it was just punch after punch after punch. Yeah, punch bag.
And then Irons comes in because Lois sends him off. He takes him out with the hammer, and then he says, Superman, get up. I need you. I have no shield, no power left. And he's like, oh, I can't. And then Bizarro takes him out. And then finally, we have Superman being Superman. Mm-hmm. But Bizarro still gets away.
Yeah, and Clark, or Superman, uses his X-ray vision and can see that there's like brain injury on his skull.
Yes. So we have Natalie that was trying to help him with the suit. And they didn't get to do very much repair on it before he had to use it, unfortunately. Then he gets taken out and serious injury to the head. He's got brain injury. The question is, how long is he going to... He's obviously in a coma right now. I know he's not going to die. We don't know until he comes back or if there's going to be a recovery period. On these shows, they typically don't do a recovery period. It's very short. It's not like you have to learn to walk again, which in reality, it would take him years to come back from this injury. But that's not
Natalie might give him some X-kryptonite.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows this X-kryptonite? We don't know the side effects to the X-kryptonite either. Besides giving you powers. Do you go through withdrawal symptoms if you stop using it? Does it have other effects on your body? Who knows? Completely untested.
It might help. It might help with the healing. It depends how bad he is and, if she gets to find out about it.
I don't know that they want that character to have powers, though, but we'll see. I'm sure he'll be back.
Well, not necessarily to have powers, just to heal from his injuries.
Yeah. So Natalie puts in the guilt into Clark, which really is not needed, Natalie. If you knew Clark, like we know Clark, he's going to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Even though he had no control, even though he did his best.
But you're Superman. You shouldn't have been there to stop it. Or not got him involved in the first
He's
place.
not a god. I mean,
Mhm.
he got taken out. He did his best.
Yeah.
Although he did look like a punching bag again. Just gonna say. So any final thoughts, Lisa? If anyone has any more questions, put it right into the chat right now, and we will put it into the show, and we'll answer your questions.
Right. So my question is, does Lucy know about Clark and that he's Superman? Because
I would say she does not.
No.
Because I don't know. I haven't seen a reason that she needs to know. And it seems like not very many people know this secret. Back when
looks like
Lucy was living with them, the only people that knew about it were Lois and Sam.
Yeah.
The boys didn't even know.
They haven't spoken to each other, for 5 years. Yeah, and the boys didn't know then.
The secret's too dangerous.
They weren't even going to tell the boys. They had to in the end. So at that moment in time, I don't think there's any reason why Lucy should be told. However, if and when she does find out, that's going to be trust issues again.
Yeah,
why
is she going to find out?
Yeah.
Although, if she does find out, she will. She'll be more jealous because coming from the outside, finding out that your sister is married to Superman might sound like the greatest thing in the world.
Plus, with her cult involvement as well, Lois doesn't seem, that bothered, that Lucy, would tell Ali. Yeah, so I don't think she knows at this point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this Lucy in this universe post-crisis is just a completely different character to what she was in Supergirl. Yeah, she's got issues. She hasn't got a military career. Very, very different. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, Lucy. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up this episode review and discussion, and we'll just give our final ratings. So 1, really, really bad. 5, best episode ever. Lisa, what are you going to give this one?
Not a 5. I had some issues with it. Especially to do with Jordan. Is it worth a 4? Give it a 4.
I'm going to go with a 3. 3. It was good. Otherwise, it would be lower than a 3.
Yeah. There's just some storylines we didn't like. We didn't like Kyle with his cheating on Lana.
Yeah. It's not even... Yeah, I'm not... The cult is making me feel uncomfortable. But I think for me, I just didn't feel any overwhelming, emotion or attachment to this episode enough to pull me into a 4, and certainly not a 5 where I said this is the best episode ever. So I'm going to go back and say a 3. And that wraps up the show. So thank you all for watching, and thank you for the people that joined us live. You can always join us live, or if you can't join us live and you watch the show and you want us to include your question, you can put it on our Facebook page, The Wall of Weird, and we will include it in the next episode review. So thank you very much.
Which will be in a few weeks' time, seeing as there's...
And hopefully we will have a Smallville episode soon. And if you enjoyed this, please push the like button and subscribe so that you get notifications when we go live. Thank you all very much. And that's it for now.
Good evening.